Suicide as a subject or theme has been explored in anime across various genres, everything from orange to colorful the movie. It's no secret that anime is not afraid to dive into heavy themes like suicide, but at least in the recent past, I've not seen it being done as well as it was done in Takopi's original Sin. The way this anime depicts suicide feels so real, in the sense that it's very raw and brutal. This isn't your typical dramatic take. The show treats the theme with a lot of respect and nuance, oftentimes feeling confused and conflicted with the emotions the anime is trying to portray. And that makes sense, because when you're trying to explore the deep mind of a human willing to end themselves, you're never getting a clear or cliche answer. It is supposed to be weird and complex. Add in more depressing themes like child abuse, and no wonder all the talk about this anime is how disturbing it is. But I think it's way more than just your average dark and gloomy show. Don't get me wrong, it does dial up the melancholy to 100. But weirdly enough, by the time you're done with the show, you come out of it with newfound appreciation for life and a stronger will to live than ever. Let's get into it. Shizuka Kuze, a quiet elementary school girl, is a victim of severe bullying in her school. She has also lost her father and is stuck with a neglecting and emotionally abusive mother. One day she bumps into Takopi, a small alien from the Happy Planet, who travels around planets to spread happiness. He's cheerful, naive, and brings with him futuristic gadgets that aid him in his goal. On paper, this is a perfect match: an eternally sad girl and an alien whose entire life's purpose is to make people happy. So initially, this is what the story seems to be about. Takopi, with his gadgets, will try to make Shizuka happy, but she kills herself in the very first episode. Yeah, throw all that out the window. Shizuka's character arc is genuinely so interesting and well written. Throughout the first episode, it slowly burns into you just how critically depressed she is.
私、魔法とか信じないからいけないよ。どこにも。ハッピー星にも。パパのところにも。
She's completely deprived of any hope in life. She has given up on everything. She's forced to suppress every emotion just to survive. Her only real wish is for a world where she doesn't have to keep suffering, and in turn wants to kill herself. And unlike other stories where the focus would be on how a character heals and gets over their sadness, this show heavily emphasizes a very different aspect. Shizuka doesn't work towards becoming some perfect version of herself. If anything, she spirals. She manipulates Naoki, trying to get him to take the blame for a crime in her place, because she knows he's the kind of person who would do it. She cheered and happily celebrated when Takopi killed Marina, which I'm not saying is not justified. Obviously, she'll be happy if a person who relentlessly abuses her is gone forever. But that is only because we're seeing the story from her perspective. We have seen Shizuka suffer. We have seen the abuse, the isolation, the unending loneliness she went through. But in reality, even Marina is a victim of child abuse. Her father sleeps with Shizuka's mom, which is why her mother is so depressed. And all that pain gets dumped on Marina, a child who has no idea how to process any of it. So she does what she can do. She bullies Shizuka and blames her for why her family is shattered. Now can you blame Marina for everything? Did she deserve to die? No, and that is why this entire situation hits so hard, because it's all messed up. Seeing Marina die and Shizuka celebrate makes sense, but it is messed up. Throughout the show, we see characters that we have been sympathizing with and rooting for slowly turn into people we were hating on to begin with. And it's not even their fault. That is how the cycle of abuse and hate goes. It doesn't just hurt people, it distorts them. And it does not just stop at one person, it fucks over everyone. At this point in the show, all this disturbing stuff had become too normal for us and for Shizuka, so it finally needed Naoki to come in and remind us of how problematic all of this is. Naoki at first seems like a simp trying to impress Shizuka, but no, he has lived his entire life always being put down by his parents, never receiving the recognition he worked so hard for, always being compared to his older brother, and made to feel like a liability to his family, a disappointment. Over time, this turned him into a hollow shell who's constantly seeking validation from anywhere he can find it. But what sets his story apart from the rest is that he had someone to talk to, someone to vent to, his older brother, Junya. Naoki, after taking the blame for Marina's murder, just couldn't take it anymore, and the brother he had been competing with his entire life finally came to listen. Naoki was so filled with unexpressed and unrealized emotions. He just needed someone, anyone to be there so he could finally let it all out. And oh boy did he let it all out. He shared the things he had been suppressing for so long, almost feeling quite pathetic at times. But that's how real emotions are. Messy, raw, and vulnerable. The creative storyboarding of placing Naoki in the dark and everyone else in light, a visual reminder of how isolated he felt.
求められたことは何一つできなくて、母さんにだって失望されて諦められて、誰も僕に興味なんかない、期待してない。
And then in that moment, Junya finally reached out his hand and said the words Naoki desperately needed to hear. It's okay to admit when you can't do something. Just a simple line, but it lands so deeply. Because honestly, we have all been there. So afraid of failing and accepting that, you know what? Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Hearing someone who finally understands and says, maybe that's fine. That's the kind of thing that stays with you. In the final moments, the visual metaphor reaches its conclusion as Naoki steps out of the darkness and into the light. And ultimately, the story is about finding someone you can truly open up to. In the end, the plot twist reveals that Takopi's original mission wasn't to save Shizuka, but Marina instead. And he went back in time to kill Shizuka, but somewhere along the way he lost his memories and instead set out to protect her, which is Takopi's original sin. Which means in some timelines, Marina and Shizuka have both interacted with Takopi. So Takopi's final effort to save both of them was to go back in time and become a little doodle in Shizuka's notebook. That tiny presence catches Marina's attention, sparking a conversation between the two. And for the first time, they speak not about how they ruined each other's lives, but about something, anything beyond their shared pain. And that's all it needed. After so many solutions and methods, all it needed was them to talk. Shizuka and Marina relentlessly cried together, finally letting years of bottled emotions spill out. As they grow up, they stay together, helping each other cope with their fucked up families and their traumatic past. And when you think about it, every single happy gadget ended up being used for something tragic. A ribbon meant to bring people together was used for suicide. A memory preserving box meant to keep treasured items safe was used as a coffin. The time travel camera killed someone, and the shapeshifter gadget was used to take the form of a dead person. It's a subtle nod to that when humans are consumed by hate, even the most peaceful tools can be and will be used in the worst way possible. The anime concludes with the author breaking the fourth wall and directly talking to us through Takopi. It is the author just pleading for us to not give up in life, to keep living and not end it all, to find even one person to talk to and somehow keep going on. It isn't some sugar-coated promise that life will magically fix itself. They acknowledge that your life may still be broken and that the pain may never truly vanish, but they hold on to one hope. that you won't have to face it alone, and that together you'll make it to adulthood. I absolutely love this anime. It turned out to be one of those unexpected bangers. I went in expecting just another forced, tragic, and dark story, but came out with a stronger will to live than ever. Life is sad. Life is, in many ways, exactly how the show portrays it, an unending cycle of pain. But still, despite everything, you keep going. Why? Because a parent is waiting for you to come home. A sibling is silently rooting for you. Your mates, even if they don't always show it, will stand by you. You keep living and take it all for these people. And whenever those dark thoughts creep in, remember the ones you love and keep moving forward. The world may be cruel, but they still love you.